Hello, I'm Cody, and welcome to session 29 of my Pillars of Eternity turn-based Triple Crown attempt. Last time we finished up at Cleabong Ralag and had a long talk with the grieving mother. And we defended Cade Nua from just a random attack. And now we are going into the sanatorium to explore one of the leads we got when we had visions in the Temple of Wodica.
Certainly.
A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate? Oh. Pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned toward you. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanatorium? Well, you may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. Ethelmore groans and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled, or whether calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it. Um, I don't actually have any idea what they stand for. If that's been revealed so far, I've glossed over it, which is entirely possible, but they are up to something, and I'm trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I mean, I do suspect it as a patient, and one that voluntarily committed themselves. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here in their offices or in their offices downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. Alright, farewell.
Good day to you.
A bald man with a crooked nose gestures in demonstration over the still body of a patient before a small gathering of interested onlookers. Feeling your gaze, he pauses his discussion. Let's see. Have you come to sit in? Has anything unusual or suspicious happened around here? He shakes his head. Definitely not up here. We can't be scaring off visitors and potential clients, you know. His voice becomes quiet. Downstairs is where, the more esoteric research is done. I checked with the animators there. Okie dokie. Something else you need? Okay, don't think that's gonna have anything.
I shall make it so.
Interesting. That it's claiming that wouldn't count as stealing, but I don't trust it. Don't want to screw myself over here.
Hail and well met.
A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spines of the books in front of her. Row by row, her motions quick and skittish, like a bird's. She does not notice you until you are nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? I'm investigating any suspicious activity in the sanitarium. Oh, I'm just Master Azo's assistant. He'd know more about that, but he's in the middle of an he's busy with some patients. You won't be able to see him until he comes out from the patient ward. If there's anything else, I need to get back to work. Alright, how do I get into the patient ward? Only Master Azo has access. I guess Head Warden Ethelmore does too, but he's, a statue. Well, that's odd. Literally the only two people allowed in there is one of the Animancers and the statue. You would think there'd be a number of people permitted to enter. Occasionally, maybe with some tracking of who goes in and why, but I wouldn't think it would be outright banned like that.
Good day, stranger.
Have you learned anything of interest? Maybe. Is Cademan Azo running experiments on the patients here? Experiments? Cademan Azo is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Cademan. I had hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient wards. I am granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter, and I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Well. Oh, I mean, some guards are in here, so I guess guards are allowed to enter.
I'll take a look.
Something churns and bubbles in this tank. Oh, there's Azo.
I shall make it so.
Ooh, unique. Raven Wing. A one-handed mace. +4 accuracy when attacking the same target as an ally, and plus 25% damage when attacking the same target as an ally. That's pretty good. Not what I meant to do.
I shall make it so. It's done.
Apparently doesn't count as stealing either. Blade Galan. Decreased stun duration, decreased knockdown duration, bonus defense when stunned, a bonus defense when prone, and fine. Interesting-ish. Not generally inclined towards the light armors, because I like defenses, but she wearing just Constitution. A bit slower. Loses the con. Gains a fair chunk of DR. And the stun resistance could be interesting. I don't know. It's hers. Bonus to initiative, right? I think that's... Is that a bad thing? Wait. Okay, yeah, never mind. Haha. Why is she wearing that? That looks terrible. It's basically just +2 survival. So sure, make her resistant to stuns. Also makes her look more different than Chie. The two of them had looked a bit too similar with both wearing the pale blue tunics. A round-faced, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Ethelmore told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Ethelmore hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved into an inanimate object, so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If Animancers all followed the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backwards and willfully ignorant as Red Ceres. We would know nothing about life and death. Or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark, with no clue as to why. Animancers must push the boundaries of knowledge, but you must be careful, also. Even Defiance Bay isn't as safe for research as it once was. Seems to me that we're still in the dark.
Is that a reason to stop trying? Shall we remain in the dark until the end of time and have the last breath of the last person alive be breathed in ignorance? The gods want us to know. The clues are all around us. In understanding these truths, we honor their creation. Who will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an Animancer, or it will be no one at all.
I heard you were demoted? How did that happen? Izo's nostrils flare, and he bares his upper teeth more broadly. That is none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Mare, that smug weasel. Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I'll never know. He spits on the floor as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth. Let's see. Have you tried your experiments on any other subject? I feel like I'm missing a whole chunk of dialogue. I have, yes. No point in lying about it, now that Ethelmore is involved. I asked for volunteers from our patients, and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifices would mean something. Okay, have you seen any unusual behavior of your patients? You're going to get a lot of looks asking questions like that in a sanitarium for the unbalanced. In truth, I have spent little time treating them since I have been reduced in my capacities. You might have luck with some of our more functional patients. They tend to congregate in the main area, just past the entrance to the patient wards. Alright, farewell. Something churns and bubbles in that tank as well.
Hello? Hello?
I'll take a look. My thoughts will be as silent as my feet. What have we here?
I half suspected that flesh construct was going to stop me and be like, you can't go past here. Apparently not. Well, that's weird. It's like... It looks like a door, but I can't mouse over it.
Shh. I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet. Laying low.
Money. And nothing of use. Certainly curious if players who are better than me actually make effective use of all the various buff potions. There's so many, and they're so obviously theoretically useful, but would never remember to even consider them in combat. Alright, let's see. The only person around with a name is Freyal, so that must be who we need to talk to. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. Then, noting your appearance, adds, a friendly visit, I hope? Well, what do you know about this Animancer Azo? Oh, I like him very much. Many Ant-Mancers could care less about their patients, but they look at us like vermin for their experiments. But Master Azo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. Well, what happened to him? Rael's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. I don't like to talk about it. There was an accident. It was said to be one of the brightest in Deerwood. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try to solve the legacy. But that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work. Suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machine that drew up energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? Point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods no. That's something we need. You know what they call those empty little babies in Andra's gift? Tell me. They call them buoys, because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. The grieving mother's hands fly to her ears, her mouth frames a silent scream. Only her mind speaks. Evils that magnify tragedies, that is what we must stop. Anyway, Master Azo has scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then, the next day, he was locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard. And he stopped seeing patients. And I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him. But I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Have any of the patients been acting unusually? Well, there's Batixa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Idleman, who they say has only half a soul, and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at the night sometimes. Ah, yes, different from their normal behavior, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose. But nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Azo lets us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy that would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. Seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. Would I be able to visit the North Ward? This does not seem the right person to ask this of, but they like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen the guards follow a visitor. Just Master Azo. You might ask him. He's very sympathetic. Don't have high hopes he'd be helpful, but he don't seem to have any other hooks.
What is it now?
I'd like to access the North Ward. That's just a question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head warden.
You smug cretin. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl shimmering beneath his breath and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
He pulls a heavy key from one of his pockets and nearly slams it down on the floor before handing it to you. Very well.
Hello? Hello? These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets.
Indeed.
Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
Yes, I doubt the wealthier citizens have the same experience. I'm sure they have their share of family members they'd rather forget. But if all were treated like this, then the sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant such a condition? Never good at voices, but my voice feels too scratchy to do what I normally do for Canna. Or normally attempt to do, at least. I don't mind option 1, although I wish it said, like, perhaps there are, because I don't know for sure that there are, but maybe there are, I don't know. There are just as many who come here and are cured of their ills, people who would otherwise be cast aside. I hope so. Canna takes a deep breath. You're probably right. It's just hard to see. Let's be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul. A willowy... A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. Alright, reach out. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul, and as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did in the caravan journey. The soul you approached is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell, in the sanatorium. Halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, the same stops every time, the misbegotten child of despondent creators. I do not know why my voice does this sometimes. Felt fine before I started recording. It felt fine for the first 10 minutes, and now it's getting all crackly. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing towards the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it. And contained in this new vessel, you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down the corridors, unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine and a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd, stacked high above you on the tiered seats of the amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately tall, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl. But this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says as he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks when a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow, but the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to an awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through the tube along a length of copper wiring that turns to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and setting and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. "Behold!" he says, but there is obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another, and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks at a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment, at the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hand outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters. Streaking your head with warm blood, you drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd. And by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form in the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room that you have seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith in its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is no mistaking now that it is the soul of Thaos Arcanon, the man you have been searching for, that gazes out from... There is no mistaking now that it is the soul of Thaos Arcanon, the man you have been searching for, that gazes out from the borrowed husk. A watcher. I believe we share a common past. I am just looking for some answers. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look. You hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backwards with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward.
Wayface, Elmes, Metu.
Lost $400 to bandits. Alright, let's see here. Nearly my entire team is blinded. That's not an ideal start. Of course, in a perfect world, I don't really want to murder all of these people, but I don't think I have much option.
Hey.
Lava beyond sea.
Following your lead. Your...
I wish you. I'm ready. Ready, Watcher.
PoE
People all seem to, or at least many of these people seem to have names. I don't know if I could have talked to them. Maybe I already have and I've forgotten their names. I don't remember talking to an idleman. Etixa sounds familiar, but I also don't remember for sure.
Your tail ends here!
I think we're then wrong.
She might have just been mentioned or something.
I wish you. I'm ready. Ready, Watcher. After him, Itamok.
Yes?
Who's this? Someone over there. Okay.
For Takoa!
There we go.
Let us end this! Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed. Shed no blood. My bow's ready. I'm ready. The Arches Vox Converan!
Let's end this!
I'm here.
I probably should have used the lightning attack he's got there.
Shed no blood.
That shouldn't matter.
Silence surrounds me.
Bucket reeks of awful. The chain's grown with added weight. Crescent bite marks pit the edges of the cot. I don't know if I'll find anything in these cells. Probably a waste to search them.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
It's one of those three that has something that I'm just gonna really regret it, but not going to search all of them. It's taking too long for a very, very small chance of finding anything.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Following your lead.
I wish you no harm.
I'm ready.
Yes? Let's end this!
Ready, what? My bow's ready.
Yes.
I'm surprised he survived that shot from Chie.
Keeping an eye out.
Ready, Watcher.
What have you done? Apparently I don't have time for this, okay. Seemed like talking to him would be wise, but
Let's see what
apparently
lies
not. Nice. Haven't fought many whites in a while.
Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead. Where your tail ends here!
I shall end this.
Eyes open. Ready, Watcher.
Yes. Your thoughts shed no blood.
Yes?
I'm ready.
Yes?
Ready, Watcher.
Hey,
Silence surrounds me.
Ready, Watcher.
These extremely easy fights like this are the one time that I probably should just turn on, or turn off turn-based.
hey.
But I would like to do everything turn-based, for thoroughness' sake. Even if I already did have that one accidental fight outside of turn-based.
Hey.
Yes?
Ideally, it would be the only fight in this game that was not turn-based.
I wish you no harm. Yes. Spot on!
Hey.
Yes? Your tail end! Let's end this!
Ooh, 67. That is a lot of damage for Eder. Damage isn't typically his thing.
I'm on the trail. Ready, Watcher.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
This is where that suspicious door was, right? Yeah. Oh. I thought for sure there was going to be something of interest over here. Oh. That's very confusing.
Hello? Hello?
Wonder if I could have used those patient records to do the quest in a different way. Ripley, I require more copper tubing for my next experiment. Do not requisition it from the sanatorium stores. I don't have time to deal with the head warden's inevitable questions. Azo. Probably could have brought that to the head warden. Okay, head warden must be told what's going on down here. Yeah, that I agree. Fortunately, whatever was screwing with my voice earlier seems to have faded out. What in the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. I mean, all of these are true. It's weird that it makes me choose between one of three true options. Like, I want to do all three of these. Let's see. Azo was being influenced by a patient, but that patient wasn't really himself at the time. You finish your explanation, and Ethelmore breaks his silence. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you describe. The accounts are few, and brief, and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest that they are all the same person. If truly such a person was here or among us, plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again, and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. I mean, there was loss of several innocent lives of the patients that I slaughtered. Guess they were attacking me for, I assume, no fault of their own, presumably being influenced by Thaos. What of Azo? What part did his experiments play in this catastrophe? I mean, he is a bit grandiose and likes to be a showman, clearly, but he did seem to be genuinely trying to help, even if he also prioritized his own prestige. Azo was only trying to help the patients. The Leaden Key took advantage of him. I should have known better than to isolate him. Of course he would resort to deception. The wiser thing would have been to allow his experiments, with close oversight, of course. A mind like his must be allowed a chance to create. Yeah, I mean, I agree, actually. Okay, but that, I guess next step is to report to Lady Webb. I was given no hook for what to do next. I kind of want to go see if Azo will talk to me now that I've given a good word with Ethelmore. I doubt it, and I hate to have to sit through two separate load screens, one to get down here and one to leave, just to have him say the same nonsense at me, but gotta give it a shot. It seems possible. No, he's down there, not there. Oh, it'll be some time before things calm down around here. Yeah. Alright. And this was just taxes collected. Earl got 66, I got 376, and I lost 423 to bandits. Oh, and apparently we've got assassins now. Alright. Oh, a lot of them by the looks of things, okay. Not one fewer. I can't quite reach it, really. I can.
Hey.
Not ideal to end up more or less tanking with the Grieving Mother, but oh well. I don't think it's like likely to be an actually challenging fight at all, so.
I wish you...
I'm ready.
Hey.
Following your lead. Let's
Ready, Watcher.
Oh? Your thoughts must flow deep. I wish you...
Yes.
Ixi, Anna!
Got an arrow. I'm ready.
Hey.
Yes.
Alrighty, nice. Yeah, those weren't... Oh, there was a letter in there. They're not a date acquired. Sort by date acquired, that would be ideal, no? Okay, well, it looked like that, I think, scrawled note. Concise but... Written on this scrap of parchment is a concise but detailed description of you, including your name, your distinguishing features, and everyone you're known to have associated with in your brief time in the Deerwood. Okay, so it's just an assassination hand note or whatever. Oh, yeah, same one there. So I wanted to put this on somebody. I think Edar makes a good choice for it too, so that's good. It's a bad idea long term, but the fights have been so easy for now. I'm going to toss that on her so she gets her turns faster in the hopes she can get more hits off with this War Club to maybe eventually learn what its next level is. Like I've mentioned before that in the past when I played this, I did use the hat and the belt, but I did not use the War Club or this Arbalest or really, I think any of the other Soulbounds. I mean, I like tried some of them, but I don't think I leveled any of the other ones up fully. I'm very curious what this club eventually does. And I still need to get this hat up. I haven't really been actively manipulating the enemies to try to get this off. I figured it would just happen eventually, but boy, is it going slow. It's tough since I need to get hit for it to trigger. And specifically, I need to get crit. Can't really engineer a scenario where I'm likely to be crit without putting myself in a lot of danger, at least. I mostly figured it would end up triggering off of, like, Drake's fear auras, but I haven't really ran into very many of those since equipping it. Since those seem to be triggering the flame shield from the belt quite often when I was fighting them. Hello, Lady Webb.
How fares your search?
There is something I can tell you about the Leaden Key's operations.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. The Angwithan Tower in Heritage Hill contains an ancient machine that can control the flow of souls. The Leaden Key activated it.
This is troubling.
That civilization seems to have known more about the mechanics of souls than anyone since. The Leaden Key was born in that period. It may be that Thaos has full knowledge of their technology. The applications of this machine you speak of, I don't want to think about it. If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
Leaden Key is manipulating a group of Engwithan machines that span the country, and it seems to be what is causing the Hollowborn epidemic.
I had feared they might be involved in Widewind's legacy. It seemed too extreme even for them. How naive I've been. That isn't enough to take to the Duke, but we're close. Avar Wolfgren is a cautious man. He will want to know everything possible before being moved to action.
And of course, I found Thaos in Brackenberry Sanitarium impersonating a patient who was trying to damage the public's opinion of animancy.
Forgive me, it is unlike Thaos to leave witnesses. He must be furious. He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep.
Oh yes, I will take heart at that.
This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it. But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale. The Leaden Key's conspiracy is clear now. They have used Engwithan technology to engineer Widewind's legacy, and they want people to blame animancy for it. As we speak, the Duke is holding hearings in the palace. He is listening to arguments for and against animancy. When they finish, he is expected to decide whether to outlaw it. It seems the Leaden Key has been pushing Deerwood down this path for some time. I, for one, would enjoy seeing their little scheme fouled up at the last moment. Our Duke must hear what you have to say. Unfortunately, the hearings are closed to the public, which makes the Duke inaccessible until they are completed. However, certain groups have been invited to attend. You might get in with one of them if you aren't above a little pandering. There are delegations from the Knights of the Crucible, the Dozens, and from House Dominel. If you can gain the support of one of those groups, that may be your best way in. See what you can arrange.
Alright, I want to discuss those hearings.
What of them?
I thought I'd be able to just click go to them now, because I do have the support of the Dozens, but maybe I have to go talk to them specifically. Let's see, would they not allow a guest of Dunred Row there?
We would only do that as a last resort. Walking in with one of the 3 invited groups puts you in a position of influence. Walking in alone as a representative of Dunreed Row would earn you distrust among all the rest. It seems our organization has a reputation for nosiness and manipulation, for whatever reason.
I guess that's a fail-safe if you manage to piss off the other 3 factions.
It would be best if people did not see Dunreed Row's hand in this. Easier for them to embrace the truth.
Alright, farewell. Head back over and talk to the Dozens. Maybe I should hit the inn first, actually. I don't know that this leads to combat, but it might, and I haven't really burned through many resources, but I take it a tiny bit of damage. Better to be fully rested, even if I don't think I've used a single per day ability or item.
How do you do?
Do lose my +3 perception bonus in favor of whatever else. Let's go with intellect and lore. Maybe there's lore bonus. Maybe gonna go to a dialogue section. Maybe the lore bonus will actually pay off. If it does, it would be better to get the one back at Caed Nua, but I don't feel like going all the way over there just for that. Alright, so the dozens are part of an animancy hearings at the Ducal Palace, right?
Someone's got to keep the blazing Crucible Knights from leading us all to ruin, and the Dominels certainly aren't doing their part. But Wolfgren's still a man of the people. He's always been sensible in other matters. He'll hear us out eventually.
I was hoping to attend. He claps you on the shoulder. It'll be good to have you there under our banner. Someone's got to convince the Duke to abandon this folly. Yeah, the Duke will hear the truth about animancy. Winning casually nods your way. His eyes continue to float from mercenary to mercenary as he speaks. What else do you need? Nothing. Alrighty, I guess I just head straight to the palace. I know I'm a broken record, but the load screens. I really could have just loaded, the Goose and the Fox, Pernish's house, Limdala's, Aidma's Den Expedition Hall, etc. All of this should have been in the same load chunk as Copper Lane, so it can just snap you to them.
Felt a sudden surprise at where you are. I think it's just sunk in that I'm a year out from home.
Only every day. You'll get used to it.
I like pretty much all the companions here, but I think Edar, Canna, and Sagana are my favorite. Alright, who do I talk to get in here? Maybe someone down at the door here. Oh, I should return to Lady... Oh my god. Oh. If it makes me come all the way back here, I'm going to be annoyed. Having to run all the way to Copper Lane and into the Dozens compound just to have 2 lines of dialogue to then have to go back to Lady Webb is unnecessary. Could have just been like, I see you've already got support of the Dozens, we'll just assume they're okay with it and go on to whatever she's about to tell me now. Save us all the running around.
How fares your search?
Let's discuss the hearings.
What of them?
The dozens will take me into their delegation.
Of all the groups, it is the dozens that the Duke fears most. If you have their ear, you will most certainly have Avar's.
That's good. I don't remember for sure what I did the first time I played, but I think it was the Crucible Knights.
You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Deerwood can be mobilized against the Leaden Key, and Thaos can be rooted out. I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there.
Alright, farewell. And yep, time to just run all the way back. We got a quest. The last 2 years, sailors on the Grace of Siamena have seen a pair of lights dancing over the waves late at night. And those who have come close have reported hearing 2 women's voices singing a song of unparalleled beauty. Some believe that they are the souls of Alessa and Pelane, ill-fated lovers from a century ago who were cast out of Ansenze by a mob and driven from the cliffs to their death. Ansenze's Duchess condemned the mob's actions, but the unsympathetic Sangretta Ducala did little to punish the offenders. Since the rumors about the lights have spread, romantic Violians have gone to the cliffs or even rowed small boats out from the shore at night to catch a glimpse of the spirits. Ansenze's new duke is doing his best to curb the behavior, but he believes the only true remedy will be putting the spirits to rest. No small task, given when and where they appear. This again feels like an Aloth thing. Like, Durance would not have any respect for the romance of the situation. I don't know Haravius enough to know how he would approach it. I actually think he has a bit of a whimsical nature at times, and he might appreciate it. But I don't think he'd take a thoughtful approach. I think he'd take a very headstrong, a very first thought approach. Aloth seems both thoughtful and appreciative of abstract concepts like this romance. So we'll send Aloth. Not that I suspect the game actually cares who you send. It would be neat if it did, and I'd like to think that it does. My guess is that it doesn't. Kind of like it feels very like the bar jobs in Final Fantasy Tactics, where it really doesn't matter who you send, so long as you send some people. Alright. Go to the upper floor. The room below is animated amidst a heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible Knights, stiff in their noisy armor, sit in one section. In another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casual, watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are the ramshackle dozens, who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspersed are animancers in their academics' robes with expressions either sour or concerned.
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
Ramir de Barask is originally from Palminia. He's one of the finest minds in animancy to come out of the Valian Republics. He left for Defiance Bay 5 years ago, because he believed this was the true heart of animancy research.
In Pelagina's words, and the way she looks at her countrymen, you sense both pride and a mild sense of frustration.
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
And I suppose your blazing profits during the legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
So you admit, Master Barask, that animancy is no closer to stopping the legacy than it ever was.
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown... Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it. The experiment failed, yes, but his work...
Ah, our new delegate from the dozens. What makes you say sabotage?
Oh, that was me, I said. His work was sabotaged. All at once, the attendees turn their faces toward you, a mishmash of judgment and incredulity. Only the Duke, a wild-looking man with a scraggly beard, seems unfazed by your interruption. I met a false patient in Brackenberry Sanitarium who had tampered with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children!
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this Animancer Azo not still accountable here?
I mean, those who know me around here know me to be fair in judgment. Caveman Azo should be held innocent.
Horseshit! These animancers can't be trusted! Look at what happened in Heritage Hill! Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes Animancy leaves!
Are you sure this is your delegate, Adric?
You won't be for long making claims like that. No way I can even come close to mirroring that guy's voice.
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justicia! You turn a blind eye, and look what happens!
Not entirely sure I understand the different connotation between these options. They appear to be more or less perfect mirrors. I guess the second one is more explicit at calling out the knights as being blameless, so the first one certainly implies that it's not their fault. The second one gives a little bit more detail. Well, let's go with that one. The Crucible Knights are blameless here. This was not the workings of animancy, but an ancient device in Ter Nunweth. Nunneth.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
Ask around. When I see problems, I take matters into my own hands.
I had heard whispers of a new delegate set to attend today's hearing. I was told to expect threats and intimidation, which is nothing new here, as you can see. Very well. Perhaps you are the sort. Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
Ter Nunweth houses an Engwithan machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made the district undead. Do you think that was the machine's purpose? Or just a dire side effect? Kenneth shudders. But then, why would the Engwithans build such a machine at all?
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
And the needless criticism of the game for me, like I've mentioned before, is that the positional audio is based on screen space. So the Duke here is only coming out of the left speaker in my headphones. Like, that just feels really odd for a scene like this. It really feels like this whole area should just be essentially mono. It should be giving me audio in both ears, as if they were straight on in front of me. Feels really odd to have him come out of my left and the three down there be more or less centered. So let's see. I have reason to believe there were others at the tower who might have done this. Do I? I thought it was literally... I mean, Thaos might have influenced it, but I don't think we have explicit information that puts him there or any of the Leaden Key's cult. It seems like it just started happening and then they couldn't figure it out. Oh no, the one guy's apprentice? I think maybe one of the notes implied that apprentice had been possessed? Sure, let's go with number 1 just in case I'm remembering right. God knows whether I am or not. I have reason to believe that there were others at the tower who might have done this.
Animancy has many enemies. You need only look around this room to see it.
You're missing the point! Everywhere there's animancers, there's disaster! We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge! It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural order while the rest of us gotta suffer for it!
I do not care for this bad, but he's got a fun way of speaking.
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son, my wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs he couldn't cough up. My daughter, we put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn copper fucker!
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate? Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
The grieving mother reaches towards your mind with hers. Bring order to the chaos here. I don't know that I can, but apparently my only claim is that I can. The crowd begins to mutter, the sound taking a doubtful character. Widewind's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Aedmund Azo's downfall was their work, as was the tower in Heritage Hill. They want you to do this. They want animancy to fall. The dull muttering expands into a din of skepticism that fills the hall. I have seen them in the ruins of Erglanfath, operating machines that disrupt and redirect the flow of souls near towns like Gilded Vale and Deerford, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have heard their dead confess their plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
Well, that's interesting, because as I understand it, what I've just said is aligned with the goals of the Crucible Knights, at least to some extent. It's surprising she would call me a lunatic, I mean, it is a far-fetched tale, but it plays into their goals. God, there's a lot of just needlessly hateful choices here. You shame your order by dismissing the truth before hearing it, madam. I expected better from a Knight of the Crucible.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
A lot of options, okay. Well, let's go with my reputation, which I'm pretty sure has got to be at least 2, if not 3, towards honest. You know anything about me, you know this. I have been called many things, but never a liar. An honest witness is the best piece of evidence you have in this matter.
The only piece of evidence.
The only piece of evidence that doesn't send your kind to the gallows, you mean?
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
Well, let's throw some support to the dozens. The Marchers of the Dozen supported my search for answers.
Though it would seem that not all of them were in on your investigation. Nevertheless, I am pleasantly surprised by their open-mindedness here. But these hearings are about more than Widewind's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenberry Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
Oof. I mean, animancy should be studied in the Deerwood. If you don't, someone else will, and they will wield great power over you. Not exactly the argument I want to make, but it's as close as any of these options. Her face still, Pelagina looks your way and suddenly nods in approval. Oh, that's good. I do not trust these animancers, seeking first after gain and glory. If they can heal our children, I would not hinder them.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest. I want to thank the delegations for helping me collect my thoughts. And our new delegate, who has warned us of a new possibility that must be looked into. The time has come to choose a direction for the Deerwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement. Ramir D. Barash, representing the interests of animancers in Deerwood, step forward.
Your Grace.
It occurs to me now that my concerns about animancy may not outweigh its value.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
What's he doing? No! Avenge the Duke!
No, wait!
Stop this at once!
Well, that's a mess.
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you? Another time. I am already late.
Nope, they appear to have collapsed. The words, "Shall I end it for you?" ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath, struggling to keep your own balance. You drop to a knee and watch as Thaos hurries out of the building. The world dims around you, the screams and clashing of weapons fading to silence. All that remains are the words.
Shall I end it for you?
Thaos stands at a pulpit, high above an assembly of robed onlookers. You among them, clustered around a wide, circular pit carved of stone. He addresses a woman bound backward over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone maw. Many of the women's fingers and toes are severed, and the bottoms of her feet are charred black. Skin on one side of her face looks like melted candle wax, black and red and seeping, and the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet for all that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
He nods to a hooded attendant, who begins untying her from the wheel. Chie was granted Dominion of the Sleepers. You open your eyes to the beamed ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall. The clangs of metal striking metal waft in from outside alongside the cries of the injured as you stagger to your feet. Thaos is gone. The grieving mother hovers over you with wide, fearful eyes. We are surrounded by spirits of rage and fear. We must flee. Off to one side, you can hear the clinking rustle of chainmail, and you look over to see a wounded guard slumped against the wall. He is trying to say something, seemingly directed at you, but at first it is too faint to hear. He gathers his breath and manages to rasp out a few words. Lady Webb. She's the only... She must be told. She'll know what to do. Please, find her. Tell her everything. The guard passes out and slides to the floor. Loot this now.
Quiet as a calm sea, which is...
Or loot up here, too. The records keeper's fine. Nobody bothered him. That's fair. Go out there. Sidley appears fine. Don't go out there. There's rioting in the streets. Yeah, that'll happen. Oh, combat. Though not any I seem to be able to take part in, or well, I could manually attack somebody, but I'm not going to do that. Well, sure is a shame that people started rioting so easily. Loot. It really doesn't seem worth it, but now that I've started, it would be foolish to stop.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them. If secrets whisper here, I shall.
Oh, looks like she's dead. Suppose that's unsurprising. Notes are scribbled in a cryptic shorthand. Lady Webb lies still in her bed, an ornate cushion propping her head back upright. The blood pooled beneath a gash in her chest is tacky and nearly dry. A shattered glass rests on the floor beneath her dangling hand. You could feel the faint aura of her fading essence in your ken. Reach out for it. You make contact and are immersed in a torrent of sensory input and experience. When it calms, you find yourself in the same room, lying in bed with a glass of brandy in your hand. Through the walls from the streets outside come the sounds of screams and shattering glass and the cacophony of an angry mob. You take a sip, and it warms your gullet. Across the room, the door opens behind a patient, a steady push. Behind a patient, steady push. Into the room walks Thaos, the floorboards creaking beneath deliberate steps. You wait until the last of the brandy has trickled down your throat before you speak.
I was a fool to think I could tame these people.
You came closer than most.
A fine epitaph.
No worse than any.
You are concentrating, focusing with all your energy. It feels as though you are diving into a stone wall over and over. But it cracks suddenly, unexpectedly, allowing the vaguest wisp of a thought to leak through.
What's in Twin Elms?
Did you pull that from my thoughts?
I've had time to practice.
Ah.
He walks over to a small table and raises a half-empty brandy bottle to eye level. He seems to approve of the selection and begins to reach for an empty glass.
I was saving that for someone.
Pity. You know this is how it has to be.
His words come freely, absent of all doubt. He draws a long, curved knife from his belt, smeared with fresh blood. With his left hand, he gently pins your sternum as he raises the knife in the other. It is pointing, its point dangling above your heart.
Prove it.
Thaos slips the knife between your ribs and pushes it through. Layers of tissue separate with brittle, papery stiffness, and blood wells up around the blade. A pulsive reflex causes you to drop your glass to the floor, and you hear it shatter. With the last of your strength, you take his knife hand in both of yours, a question radiant in your mind. For an achievement, I've completed Act 2. For an instant, to your great surprise, the pathway to his mind is left open to you, unguarded, and as the answer comes, simple, cataclysmic in its reordering of your thoughts. As Lady Webb, you feel as though you have an answer you've searched for all your life, but in your own mind, her understanding lies just beyond your reach. You look at Thaos, with the wide eyes of someone seeing for the first time, and draw your last breath as a black, velvety darkness descends over you.
Smoke rises above the city walls in billowing plumes that blacken the sky like a storm. Behind the walls, the riots rage on. Known patrons of Animancy are forced into hiding as looters ransack their estates and make off with their possessions. Animancers are torn away from their families and dragged from their homes to be stoned to death in the streets. Word had spread immediately that Duke Avar had been assassinated, and that an Animancer was to blame. The city wasted little time in exacting revenge, and little effort into evaluating guilt. In the center of it all, Brackenberry Sanitarium burned. And down the lane, Hodred House, the last bastion of stability in the Deerwood, had fallen silent. Now safely outside the city gate, your path points eastward to Twin Elms, where Thaos is bound, for reasons that remain mysterious as the Leaden Key itself.
So I guess nothing I did during that whole meeting with the Duke mattered at all. Any choices I made would have had the exact same outcome. I suppose that makes sense. It's fairly reminiscent of the trial in Neverwinter Nights 2, also by Obsidian, which also in a long series of dialogue that no matter what you do ends the same way. Although I think the trial is a fair bit bigger than an entire act putting together information about it. It's probably one of the highlights of that game.
Amazing. You could fit a whole village in here.
Indeed. Edgar wants to talk.
Say what you want about Dear Woodens. They haven't met the problem yet that they couldn't solve by killing some scapegoats.
Yeah, that is common amongst humanity, Edgar, unfortunately. You fight for people because you see something there that deserves defending. Even more so because someone you trust sees it too. Then you turn around and they do something like this. Then the person who made you want to help them is gone. You weren't really fighting for all of them, though. That's the ones I like, then? Maybe. It'd be nice if you got to choose. Tell the lowlives that if you die, it wouldn't be for their sorry hides. Never thought I'd find myself missing the hospitality back home. Oh. Rest in. And with that... Oh, never mind. You find yourself back in the space inside the grieving mother's mind. It is familiar this time, and even though you feel you have seen countless births from this vantage point, something fills you with unease. The sky has darkened, and the mist has risen from the forest to hem you in. You are trapped. You hear something. The sound is strange, dissonant like warping metal. You grit your teeth against the noise, and yet, as it rises, the eerie melody drives the numbness from your limbs and clears a space in the mist. Focus on the chimes. The noise resolves into a dull tone, and it resounds through your bones. You see that your hands are in motion. And once again, you are drawing forth life, something warm and fragile struggling into the world. This scene feels familiar, a moment you have lived and dreamed 1,000 times before, and yet something ominous gnaws at the edges. Focus on the child, the movement of your hands. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear and sharp. And somewhere distant, they seem echoed by something else. Wails of sorrow. Tolling bells. It's impossible to tell. Draw the child forth. An inexplicable sense of dread fills your soul as the child makes its journey to you. Push by push, a malicious presence seems to surround you, and you lean forward to shield the child. At last, the baby emerges, wet and ready from its journey. A lifetime seems to have passed as the newborn moved from womb to world, and another seems to pass as you cradle the trembling child, waiting. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the chime echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you were viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping. In her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Surrender the child. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the dull clangor sounds, and you feel a weight hanging from your wrist. You look down and see bones, tiny and malformed, hanging from a string about your wrist. They're heavier than they should be, and as they clank together, they make a noise like funeral bells. The mother is too intent upon her newborn to pay you any heed, and so you hide your wrist behind your back. She need never know, can never know. As you hide the bone chimes, you shiver, in relief with premonition, at the chill wind that suddenly sweeps the plateau, and wake up. Oh, it put my Watcher abilities into a sub-menu now. What's the new one, anyways? The Watcher speaks directly... No, I've had that one. It must be Dominion of the Sleepers. Ah. Free action, +2 might, constitution, dexterity, perception, intellect, and resolve for 1 turn. The Watcher peers into the sleeping memories of previous lives, drawing upon their power to enhance all of his or her attributes. Not bad, once per rest. I mean, it's only +2, so small as to be largely irrelevant.
Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
I'd add questions. Well, let's see. I walked in your memories. This time they felt strange. I would see them again. Yeah. Same thing I just read through. If I do the exact same options, does nothing happen, or can I actually talk to her about it now? With effort, the scene bleeds color. Yada yada. Okay, we've done that. I walked in again in your dreams and thoughts, and I believe your memories. A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, her chimes at her wrist quelling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her. Okay.
What did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
My only options are never mind or it is no matter. Great. What is that you're wearing on your wrist? She extends her hands, and the small chimes on her wrist sound at the motion, just as they sounded in her memories. The chimes are finely crafted of white adra. They are wrapped around the grieving mother's wrists with tiny woven braids of hair of different colors, from white to black to brown to blonde. You feel as if you're noticing them for the first time. If the birthing chimes were given to newborns, why do you wear a set now?
There was no child to carry it.
And suddenly there is a rasping cry across your consciousness, and you see her flinch, visibly as if struck. She raises her hands, and you see the chimes draped from them, yet they make no sound as she moves. In your memory they looked like bones.
And carry the weight of 100 deaths. I know, Watcher.
This is about the Hollowborn, isn't it?
The Hollowborn.
And the same chill you felt before is stronger now, as if it's welling up around your feet to your ankles. You feel a sudden urge to draw away, as if from an unpleasant memory.
The Hollowborn have a future. They can be saved, and the Tells spoke of such.
How would you know? Have you seen this future?
They can be saved. They must be saved. You have seen the beauty in childbirth. What good came into the world there on the plateau. You helped me recall it. It is a memory we shared. It is the truth.
And yet in the memory you hid the chimes on your wrist from the mother. Why? It is not what I hid, but what she saw. She couldn't know. The grieving mother squeezes her eyes shut and brings her hands to her ears. No more equivocations. What really happened at the birthing bell?
And what would you consider real, Watcher? The truth that was experienced and remembered? Or the one that burned out only to be swept under the rug and forgotten like ash from a fireplace?
What happened matters. Forgetting it doesn't make it less real.
And how much of your own life has been lost to the error of memory? How many loves and betrayals were colored with the false hues of emotion? A pity to wonder how much of your own life happened the way you recall.
Okay, apparently we're done with this conversation. We could get going. Felt like with the new dream sequence there'd be more to that, but apparently not. This all seems like a decent ending spot for session 29. And thank you all for watching and or listening. Hopefully you will join me again with session 30, wherein we will finally, I assume, be heading towards Twin Elms. Unless I don't know, feel a spurt of inspiration to head into the deeps of Odd Nua again.